Welcome once again to the Aspen Shed. July 2025, very hot. Recently I bought a Jaguar XJ X350 3.5 litre V8, as is my wont. I've still got the Hyundai Santa Fe, and my wife and I went for a ride in a Santa Fe a couple of weeks ago, and the one problem I couldn't cure with it, although I've spent a bit of money, I've done the timing belts, put new oil changes, filters, I've had rear brakes and bearings done. I've done quite a bit to it. Nevertheless, one thing I haven't been able to cure is the ride. It's a big 4x4, and one would have thought the ride would have been similar to a Shogun or something like that. Very, very stiff. If you put your weight over the front wheel, and I'm weighty, couldn't budge it, didn't move, suspension was almost solid. To negate a bit of that, I put bigger tyres with a bigger depth in them. I can't remember whether they are R55s, I think. I can't just remember. Anyway, they were a lot deeper than the ones that were on it. Complete new set of them. Biggest depth of tyre I could get for it. Didn't improve it. Running round locally over speed humps, it was jarring every time you hit one. And where you got rough roads round town and things like that, your teeth rattled, and your eyes, and other bits. Because being older now, you know, it's the old bone syndrome. Everything's difficult, everything hurts. So in my wisdom, I'd always been hankering for another XJ. It's not quite what I wanted, the one I've bought. It's a 2004 one. That means it was built by Ford, but this is not the Mondeo. This is not an X or an S. This is an XJ8. It's a big car. It's the same as XJs I've had in the past, but there's a lot of Ford bits on it. I didn't pay a lot of money for it because I haven't got a lot of money, so I bought one that was cheaper because of the mileage, 177,000, which I'm not keen on, but beggars can't be choosers. So I bought it with one or two faults. One fault, or two faults, the chap that sold it to me didn't point out, but I saw as I was buying it. Well, the first one I saw was the boot lock didn't work. You had to open it with the key. Fair enough. Being an auto locksmith, no problem to me. And the other one, it's got an ABS fault, or DSC, which I can't just remember what the description is. Something to do with stability control anyway. And the fault that I was finding was right rear wheel sensor. It couldn't see that. It could see everything else. So I took it to my local garage, and he's a nice lad. He's very, very helpful. And he put a new wheel sensor on it, and that didn't fix it. I wasn't quite surprised, because having read about these Jags, one of the things they suffer from is dry joints in the ABS module. You have to take it off, split it and resolder it. Well, that's nothing to me. I've done loads of ECUs, modules. In fact, the last job I did was Wayne at the garage had got a P38 Range Rover diesel, and he'd got two ECUs. One of them had got mapped chips in it, and he wanted it putting on the one that was in the vehicle. He couldn't do it. He couldn't find anybody that could do it, and people that wanted it, would do it, were charging enormous amounts of money. So I had a few jobs done to the Santa Fe, and he said he wanted this job doing, so I said okay, I'll do it. And he didn't charge me for the jobs, and it must have been over 200 quid's worth. So he gave me the units, and I desoldered the EPROMs, and all was successful. Anyway, that's something else. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the ABS unit, reflowing the joints is nothing of a job, and it doesn't look a big job to get it out, so I'm going to have a go at that one. The other thing that's happened is when I bought the vehicle, I noticed that the near side passenger rear door was locking and unlocking mechanically. It wasn't firing off when you press the open and lock button on the remote. So again, because I'm an auto locksmith, I thought, well, that's going to be nothing of a job. First thing before I buy one is I'll just strip the panel out, have a look at the lock, take it out if need be, and see if I can get it working again. So the other Sunday morning, early in the morning, because of the heat, I went out there with my little stool and all my tools, and I sat down by the car and I pressed the unlock button and opened the driver's side passenger door to unlock the rear door. It was deadlocked. During a few days we'd had it, once when I pressed the button, it must have deadlocked. Right, methinks we'll get into this, and actually the door is locked, you can't open it to get at anything. So I started on it, winded down and working from the outside, found where all the screws were, and there was only 3 to take out of the outer panel. That was one where the lock handle is, and 2 for the armrest. So I took those out, and then I thought, well, most panels I've ever worked on, you have to undo them from the bottom, which I couldn't because the door was shut, and you have to lift them slightly over a lip, and then you can get your pry tool in and pop all the poppers. To my great surprise, I got hold of the handle and give it a yank, and the whole panel came towards me. It come off. It got special poppers all around. I thought, great, we're on a winner here. Then I looked at the door again, and instead of having a plastic film or a sponge or some other piece stuck to the door which you normally peeled off to get at the insides, this had got a heavy duty plastic cover that not only went across the door, it went down the sides, and it was fastened down the sides. No way of getting it off. I did notice at the bottom of the door, because I'd felt the other side, there was a fastener. First of all I thought it was a screw. It turned out to be one of these plugs that go in, and then you put another plug up inside, and it spreads it out. But what it was fastened to was a little arm that came out from the inner door, and I took the decision to cut this little arm across. It's plastic, it's quite thick, heavy duty, and I did that, and I got the outer panel out of the way so I could get at the inner panel. And after 3 attempts at cutting different size holes, I don't know if you can see that. The red area represents the area I've finished cutting. I could cut it in 1 now, knowing where everything is, but I had to cut it in 3. Anyway, having got that off, I got my fingers to the lock. It is fully encased by the metal sides of the door and the outer skin. All you can see is this socket, which I've pulled off, and nothing else. You can't see any of this. This is all covered by sheet aluminium, and this side is hard up against the outer skin. So I will I've got one video I've done on doing this. I think I'm going to do another one, because the first one I was done on my camera and I don't like the aspect view of it, so I'll try and do another one with the video camera now of how I managed to dismantle this and get the deadlock off, because I searched high and low for videos on this particular model of how to get the inner panel off, or what to do, or how to get the lock off when you'd got access to it. There was nothing. Although I'd bought another one, a second-hand one, it comes just the same as this. There's nothing to see, there is nothing to trip, no levers, nothing. It's a sealed unit. But I'll show you what I did to get in and switch the deadlock off. Let me get set up. Probably won't be a lot different to anything else I do. Right, let's see what we can do about this. Basically, when you've got the panel cut, that's the only view you've got of the lock. You can't see any of this because there's a metal panel over it, and everything you do is virtually got to be done by touch. First thing I did, I actually broke the mounting on this, but there's a little catch at the back. Press that and you can pull it off and get it out of the way. Gives you a bit more visuals of what you're doing. Now, where are we? Yes. So you've not got much of a view, but you can get down this side of it and feel what's there. Now, in my case, oh yeah, the other thing is you need a torque wrench, one of those that's got a torque both ends and an L shape, and you can just get the L shape in down the side to the torque screws, which you can't see. You can only do it by feel. The first one to get out is aligned with it is aligned with you've got a cable that comes out here and it's aligned with the edge of this. And if I turn it this way, you can see that there's two. These are not the right screws. I'll get the right screws. Dear me. Those weren't the screws that were in it, those are Phillips. They were these torque screws. I've lost one, so you'll have to imagine there's one in the other tuft. And so when they're screwed right in, you can only feel them by touch, but you can get an Allen wrench in. And I think this one turned quite well. There was quite an angle of turn you could get on the wrench. You get less on that one and less on that one, but you have to keep putting it back in, turn it a bit, turn it until you get to about that height, and you can then actually start to turn them with your fingers and get them out. Now once they're out, nothing happens because this is a sealed unit. It's very tight. Doesn't come apart so easily, and when you're looking at just a little bit of it that you can see, it is difficult. Now what I did, I'll zoom down here, there is some clips on it. Well, there's one clip you can see, you can't see any others, but let's just zoom in and we'll see if we can see it on there. Those bells, I can't see it. Oh, it's because I'm looking in the wrong place. There we are. That's the one you can see. And what I did was manage to get a screwdriver under there to clip it and push it up a bit like that, and then I put the screwdriver under the bit I just exposed, and I give it a whack with a bigger screwdriver than this on there. I give it a whack with a hammer. The usual job there, I give it a bash with a hammer, and the whole lid doesn't come off, but it breaks a piece off big enough for you to see what's inside. That comes off, and when we turn it over, you'll see that there's a gear wheel. Now, once you won't be able to see the gear wheel, but you now know it's there. But when you put your fingers round the Johnny Horner, bit of better view. You know, when you get your fingers round the Johnny Horner, you can feel it. Lovely. And in my case, it travels, I don't know, 180 degrees or less, but it goes up against two stops. When I opened mine, it was hard up against that stop anti-clockwise. But the way to open it is you move that clockwise, and it moves quite easily. It's not difficult. Get your finger on the cog and push it. And as I was doing that, it went clunk, click, and the door went to the first latch. Hooray, because it had taken me 2 days to get to that stage. I was jiggered. So that's what you do to open a deadlocked Jag door. If I'd have seen this video that I'm making, it wouldn't have taken me so long. But there you go. Once that wheel had been turned, the door will mechanically lock and open all day long, and as long as you've pulled the plug out of this wire, which is the motor wire, it won't lock again. You can do it, you leave it mechanical if you want, but I suppose like me, everybody wants to repair it, and so I bought a second-hand one for 35 quid. I banged it in and it worked. One thing to note is it should be possible to probe the motor supply 12 volts through this. There's two connections in it. I did ohm it out first, and it gave me an ohm reading, so I knew there was a connection. I tried probing it, but nothing would happen, and when I tried to re-ohm it again, there was nothing there. So I imagine the motor's dead, and I'm saying that because it is definitely a DC motor. It's not on a serial network, it's not on a CAN bus network. All the CAN bus work is done in a controller in the boot. But how do I know that? Because I'd also done the boot lock. I had to do that because that wasn't working. When I first opened it up, it was unplugged, so I plugged it back in, the alarm went off, I reset it with the remote, the motor would run, I could hear it whirring away, but it didn't ever unlatch the lock. So, having done some testing and seeing it was just a DC motor, there's no way that just on two wires would be a serial communication. So if you supply 12 volts to them, the motor runs. And just to prove the point that it is a DC motor, I shall do that now. And you can hear it whirring. Right, the proof of the pudding. This is 12 volts. And what is happening, the motor is driving the gearbox, but apparently in that gearbox it's a planetary system with three little nylon cogwheels, and apparently they disintegrate. I haven't bothered trying to prove that fact, but I found that out off a video on the internet, so I haven't bothered opening it. I just bought a new one, and all is well. It's a good little motor. I'll try and retrieve that for some reason or other, better known to somebody else and not me. Anyway, there we go. So as I say, they are just 12 volt direct DC motors. Remember to switch the WIM off, off. Yeah, that's it. So where do we go now? I'll show you just a shot of the outside panel, and I'll put a shot of this little drawing I've got with the area to cut out. The X on it means, put it the right way up, the X means don't cut in that area, because that's the only damage I did. I cut mine a bit too low there, and I ran into a set of wires which were for the lock. I had four broken wires, which I promptly soldered and shrink wrapped and wrapped them all up again, and nothing was amiss. It worked. Happy chappy. This is the beast. There's the remote. Oh, I locked it. There we are. All working. The old body doesn't move like it used to, and that's what took me so long. Anyway, that's the panel that comes off. There is a screw behind the handle. It's a little cap to pull off. It's a torque screw, and there's two screws under the armrest. One at that side and one at that side. The ascending bolt, what thing you can't get out, is underneath. But as I say, once you've got those two screws out and that one, it's a quick snatch and the door panel open. Normally when I were doing cars, you had to pull the panel off from the bottom, poppers and a little upholstery tool to pop them off, and then you used to have to lift it to get them off. But this Jag door doesn't work like that. You can just snatch it and it all comes off in one, and it's fastened on by little poppers all the way around, different to the type you see on normal panels. They look like it's long bullets with a ridge around them, so they go straight in and then lock, but they come out with a snatch. So that's it, done and dusted. I'll have a little walk around the car while we're here. It's easy to get it, the poppers, sorry, that's the inner panel, that black piece that you can't get off because of those caps. It took them caps out and there's a bolt in it, and there's one down at the bottom by the speaker as well, so there's no way it's going to come off when the door's shut, because you cannot get at that at all. If it didn't shake so much it'd be great, wouldn't it? This didn't work. Well, we had it, the button. So just take all that lining out with little poppers and you can get at the lock. Yeah, a limousine it is. It's got automatic everything. Electric seats, electric steering wheel. This model was actually fitted with TV. But of course there's no signal for it anymore. And the other thing that this one's got, that not a lot have got, bear with me when I get it out. Can't get it out. There we go. Obviously it's got an armrest like a million of others cars have got, but it hasn't got one of them. Oh! It's to control the heating, the radio, the TV from the back seat, because it was meant to be chauffeur driven. God, my tremor's terrible, isn't it? Forgive the tremor, I can't do anything about it. It's got a LCD display. Oh, you flip that up and you can plug all your headphones and all that in. Madness. And look at that. Dual cigarette lighters. Ho ho. You can't get better than that, can you? Oh, and it's got a ski hatch for when we go skiing. That's got to be helpful, handy. So, all up and running. And as I say, it looks very, very tidy. And of course, it's an aluminium body. It ain't gonna rot. Engine might drop out of it, but it ain't gonna rot. 6-speed auto and sport mode. Very nice. Right. So that's the end of that video. As I say, I searched the internet, found very little on being able to open a Deadlocked XJ X350. I have to admit that I found a post on a Jaguar forum that were talking about removing locks, and one chap didn't put any drawings, there was no video, but he did say that all he said was he'd managed to get the 3 torque bolts out and prise the top off and rotate the cogwheel. That's all I had. But as for getting into it when it's deadlocked, there's another story. So I hope this helps somebody, because I'm nice like that. And so I'll see you in the next one. Oh, don't subscribe and like and say how wonderful you think I am. That's by the by. I've taken that as read. Bye.